Can I now invite Kate Scanlan to speak? Kate is a Claw Fellow, and she is currently running the Breakin Convention Festival at Sadler's Wells, among many other things. And she's going to talk about working in that context of urban culture and that non-mainstream activity. You okay? Great, thank you.
Hi everyone. I'm going to show a little video in a bit just to show you what I'm talking about. When I was thinking about what to say today, I thought, where do I start? Because you all know everything about qualifications and training, so I thought maybe I'll start with hip-hop. So I work for Breakin Convention, which is the hip-hop dance theatre festival organisation based at Sadler's Wells, just up the road. And we've been going since 2004 and essentially once a year produce a London International Festival, a UK tour, professional development, young people projects, and we have a website. So hip-hop, I think I'm going to take you back to the 60s and 70s when the Bronx in New York was a cultural, social, architectural sort of wasteland. Landlords were burning tenement block buildings for insurance money. Unemployment was very high. Education was pretty worthless. There were huge problems with gangs and drugs. And this was kind of the borough of New York that literally had its back turned on it by the world. And I think what's interesting that is amongst all of that debris, the young people began to innovate, and they created, in my opinion, the most vibrant and cultural form for years, and that was hip-hop. So if you don't know, the foundations of hip-hop culture are four elements of DJing, the use of turntables to transform a beat, b-boying, or b-girling now, the dance that responds to the beat, MCing, the rhymes and vocal soundtrack that go over the music, or create the music, and graffiti, the artwork. And then a man called African Bambaataa added a fifth element of knowledge when he created an organisation called the Universal Zulu Nation, ensuring that hip-hop became a culture with a strong sense of community and really strong oral history. So these forms are created in bedrooms, in community centres, on the street, and New York was completely transformed. Subway trains had like work all over it, graffiti work. There were parties in the street where DJs jacked the power from lamp posts. And it was like a really vibrant culture that completely exploded in New York, and one that the authorities really did try to clamp down on. They lost, and hip-hop went global. And one of the first places it came in the world and really took hold was London, and then the whole of the UK. So hip-hop culture is a vibrant form with traditions and highly codified techniques. It's a really powerful culture that has a positive effect and has done across the world on many communities, many of whom are sort of disengaged from the rest of their wider cultural community. And many of the artists that I've spent time with describe how hip-hop saved them. It took them to another place. It gave them purpose. It gave them direction. So today, these dance styles are taught under lots of different names: hip-hop, funk styles, urban. There's loads of ways of describing this form. I think traditionally the only dance of hip-hop is b-boying or breakdancing, and that was a dance that evolved in New York with the rest of the culture. And the dances that involved on the west coast of America, locking and popping, these were kind of described as funk styles traditions because they were more funky and they came from social dances that were done to funk music. So today the culture has evolved lots of new dances that join the kind of overarching hip-hop genre, and they include dances like whacking or punking, crumping, and more that are being evolved across the world as we speak. The circle or cipher is a very important symbol in hip-hop culture. It's a space where you would enter to test yourself, to evolve the dance or the rhyme. This was the space for the battle. And partly why I think hip-hop culture has got such a bad rep across the world as being violent. And actually, that wasn't the case. Hip-hop jams were about everyone from a community enjoying together and testing out their skills, evolving things in a circle. And yes, you did want to beat the person in front of you. However, at the end, everyone then was like, yeah, well done, and had a great party together. And that part of the culture has been lost, and the elements have been sort of split apart. you know, now there's massive dance battles, or there's DJing battles, or there's MCing. So it's all kind of been sort of stripped apart. Things put on a stage, and I know my event does happen on a stage, but things put on a stage where there's no connection between audience and art being created. And that's one of the important things about Breakin Convention, is that there is opportunity throughout the building, in the after party, in the foyers, for people to share together, international artists, young people, audiences, just to kind of explore together. So the connection with the community is recreated, really. And the world leaders, particularly of the dance, might not be the countries that you would expect them to come from. South Korea has sort of led the world for the last 10 years. Russia is hot on their heels at the moment. So it's an interesting culture to be part of. I'm going to show you a video now. It's about 4 minutes, and then I'm just going to come back and explain, in terms of today, a little bit more about what we're doing and the things that are happening in terms of accreditation for the dance styles within the hip-hop genre.